Hey everybody, thank you for joining me on my Flannel Whiskers ASMR YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a flip through of this Rob Thomas themed junk journal. This journal is going to be put up for sale on eBay, auction style, with 100% of the sale price going to the charity listed on that eBay listing page. I had wanted the money from the sale to go to Rob and Maddie Thomas's charity called Sidewalk Angels, but they're not registered with eBay. And I wanted the buyer to be assured that none of the money would pass through me. It is just going directly to a charity. So I've selected a animal charity that Sidewalk Angels supports. So, to give you a little bit about the journal, I'll start with the cover and then we'll go into the pages. The closure that I have on it right now is just a piece of fabric, and it is repurposed from a rug. There's a style of rug called chindi rug, where the rug is made up of dozens of scraps, like this one, and they are sewn together in strips. And there was a store called Five Below. We don't have them in my state, but I swapped junk journal supplies with another hobbyist. So she went and bought the rug at Five Below and took it apart for me and mailed it to me, and I mailed her some supplies. So I just love that we can find a different use for the fabrics that came out of the rug. So that's the closure. You can find a piece of lace or ribbon or other fabric that you might like. It's very, it's frayed, it's uneven. I like that look for junk journals, but if people don't like things looking distressed like this, then it's not permanently affixed. You can find something else. And along those lines, with regard to the aesthetics of a junk journal, things are not symmetrical. They might not be straight. They might not be even or color complementary. So I guess I just would like to say that if you are very interested in things being straight and symmetrical and even and perfect, this is probably not the journal for you. It's it's called a junk journal for a reason. I do make the journals to have structural integrity, and the glue that I use I use various adhesives, but the glues that I use are reputable glues, adhesives, and anytime that I use washi tape, I glue it for added adhesion. So structurally, it's a good journal. So I want to talk about the cover. Underneath the fabric are pieces of chipboard that I repurposed from donut box lids. So there's 3 layers of donut box lids under this microfiber. They were clean. I rescue them from the office lunchroom before they get not clean. And then underneath this purple fabric is chipboard from a graham crackers box. And so that's a way to reuse what would otherwise go in the recycle. The tan fabric that you see here, I think it's microfiber, and I got it from a thrift store. This purple fabric is cotton, and it came from the thrift store. And I believe that this is like probably a cotton poly blend, and it's the edging from a pillowcase that I also got from a thrift store. And the spine is also some of the pillowcase edging. These panels, these black panels on the front and back, are made of vinyl, or they're fabric is vinyl, and they are scraps from a person in my community who is a seamstress, and she frequently puts her fabric remnants and scraps on our local Buy Nothing group. So those, I got the black vinyl panels for free from Buy Nothing. If you're a junk journal hobbyist and you haven't joined your Facebook Buy Nothing group, that is a good place to go for people discarding things that you can use in your journals. Okay, so the front cover and the back cover both have pockets, these pockets, and there are 4 signatures in the book. If you're not familiar with book journal terms or bookbinding terms, a signature is a group of pages that is sewn into the, or it might not be sewn, but it is connected to the spine as a group. So this is one signature, and you can see that there are 4. And there's a lot of space in between the signatures when it's open. Like you can see the inside of the spine right here, but I needed to have that space because the pages are poofy because of all the content in there. So yeah, they're sewn in with a 3 pamphlet stitch here on the spine. You can see the string. I actually doubled up the string that binds it into that binds the pages into the spine. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, so let's go through. The front page and back page of every signature is a vellum page, and part of the reason why I did that is because there is so much space in between the signatures. If you wanted to add something in between and maybe paper clip it onto a page, the vellum is pretty sturdy. Like I would prefer to paper clip something onto vellum than maybe like this coffee dyed paper, because it's like a typewriter paper. So that's part of why I put the vellum sheets on the front and back cover of each signature. The pages are 8.5 by 11 sheets that I folded in half. So this is 8.5 inches from top to bottom, and then 5.5 inches from left to right. And there are some other pages in here that are small pages like this. The count of the pages is 120, and that doesn't include the vellum, and that doesn't include any pages that are smaller than the 8.5 by 11 pages. So 120 pages. Out of the 120 pages, 22 of them have lyrics on them from Rob's solo albums, except for one. There's one song lyric in here from a Matchbox album, but the rest of them are from Rob's solo albums. Song lyrics here are Heaven, from Heaven Help Me. This paper right here is dyed with, I dyed it with avocado skins and avocado pits, and it turned this interesting pink peachish color. This is half an envelope with just a little pocket so you can put things in. This is a piece of coffee dyed paper. This paper is tea stained, which means that I had some wet tea bags and I just put them on the paper and left them there for a day, and they stained the paper. This is scrapbook paper that I distressed on the back side with some inks. And it's a compass, or a couple compasses, and song lyrics here from All the Best Things. These particular lyrics say, I've strayed off course, then all the maps were stolen. And so I put in here a reproduction of an old map, a partial, it's just a partial. And I glued it to a piece of brown paper. This is the brown paper that comes in packages as padding. So that's a way to repurpose the padding. And you should do a lot of online shopping like I do. And we've got a little corner tuck right there. And over here, the corner tuck continues. I decorated this envelope with more compass. And inside, it's a compass note card that I distressed. And you'll notice there's a theme of sheet music papers decorating the journal. Oh, and this paper right here is tea dyed, which is different from tea stained. This one, you just leave the wet tea bags on it and let them drip and whatever. Tea stained, you actually soak it in tea, and then I dry it the next day. This paper is coffee dyed. It has a pattern on it. I don't know if you can see it, but I put a vinyl doily on top of the paper, and then I used a squirt bottle and squirted coffee on it, and then let it dry. Here we have a little interactive element. Inside is a postcard, a vintage postcard of Radio City Music Hall in New York City. Look at those old cars. And on the flip out is the album art from Chip to Smile. And normally I would have made this into a pocket like right here, but the journal was getting so chunky that I just decided this could be the pocket. You put stuff in there and it will hold it. It's got a magnetic closure. And on the edge of this we've got some lace sewn on. Over here we've got some paper collage. And here we have a tag under this belly band. And the back side of this is a manila envelope like you get in the mail. This was a belly band that of paper, and I reinforced it with washi tape because it was I was a little bit worried that maybe it was too frail because it was so skinny. So it's been reinforced. It's kind of loose, so I put that paper clip there. And then in this tuck spot behind the tag is a photo holder. It's got a place for a photo on the front and on the back. It's just repurposed from the photo album. I used my distress ink oxides on here. I was trying to get an effect of like gasoline. So like, how when you see gasoline like on water, there's like a certain sheen. So I was trying to put kind of a sheen on here. I don't think anyone would know that unless I said it. This page is another photo holder, and that's just my own meet and greet photo with Rob as a sample, where you can put your photo. It kind of blended in if I didn't put something in there to show you. This little decoration right here, I just love it because Rob has a song called Fallen to Pieces, and with one of the lyrics being, I'm gonna need you when every little thing starts falling to pieces, and it says, how's every little thing? So I just thought that was so perfect. Let's make sure every little thing is not falling to pieces. On this page we have a silhouette of a guitar on top of sheet music, belly band, and a CD envelope. The inside of this is just, this is a card or piece of paper to write on. And this is more of the coffee dyed paper with doily impression. Over here we have a shallow tuck spot with lace sewn on, and a vintage postcard referencing Paper Doll. It's used, and it's from February of 1915. This is not 2015. This postcard is over 100 years old. I collect vintage postcards, and some tea-dyed paper for writing. And some more tea-dyed paper. And some song lyrics from Problem Girl. There's the other half of the envelope with a coffee-dyed card inside the envelope. And some more song lyrics with just a little lace curtain for decoration. That's the end of the first signature. The second signature, this is printed paper. It's not real alcohol ink, or it's not the original of the alcohol ink artwork. This paper was dyed blue by somebody else. I purchased some of her papers. I think she said she uses food coloring to dye it, and then I just added some stencils. And this is, I think this one was tea dyed, not coffee dyed, because I use it as kind of typewriter paper for the tea dyed. This page I really like because there's a song by Rob called We Were Beautiful, and the lyrics are like, we were beautiful when we were young, and the name of this book is When We Were Very Young. It's a Winnie the Pooh book. And this comes out so you can write on the back. That's Christopher Robin on his stairs and Winnie the Pooh up at the top. So it has a lot of writing space. And then of course you can write on the page that it sits on top of, and it just tucks back into these corners. Throughout the book there are the album artwork in there. We've got two pockets on this page. The paper is, I painted it with acrylic paints. And then we've got a card here and some writing paper here in the top pocket. And just these collage elements and washi tape. And then on this page we've got some more song lyrics. This is from Ever the Same. And some collage elements down here at the bottom. And this flips forward. And there's a spot for another photo. And you can write on the part that flips forward. And we've got tea-dyed paper, coffee-dyed coffee filter I was curious. I was just curious about how that will work out, but you can write on it. And here, I love this little bird paperclip. It's so cute. So this page, it's another avocado dyed paper, and it's got some song lyrics from Now Comes the Night. And this envelope is attached to it. And it's folded from scrapbook paper and decorated with stickers and washi tape. And this book page from a book called Finches and Other Soft-Billed Birds. I was going to use that book as the book cover for this journal, but it turned out being too narrow. So I pulled a page out of that book, and it's a page about mockingbirds. And it's sewn onto the envelope. I sewed it on before I folded the envelope. So it just goes on there with its pretty bird paperclip. And on the other side we have a tuck spot with some lace sewn on there. Tuck spot that holds this little 3-tiered pockets. There's nothing on the back, it's enclosed, and the pockets contain parchment paper and scrapbook paper that I have distressed the edges with ink. And then the papers that are tucked in, they get progressively larger. A little mockingbird label. Oh, and then we have a Christmas spread. So got some song lyrics to our New York Christmas. And in this tuck spot we have a vintage playing card that I covered the face of it, but you can still see some diamonds through there. And then I created this envelope with scrapbook paper, and it has a little window in the front, and these are replicas of vintage newspaper advertisements. I especially like this Tiffany and Company, Union Square, New York. Silk petticoats, $7.45. So I thought those were just fun ephemera pieces. These green pages are green vellum, so they're pretty sturdy. There's a removable belly band, or it's removable or movable. It slides, or you can just take it off. And I've put in some pages that were dyed, and I added some like speckles in there to kind of make them a little more grungy. You can't hardly tell that they're dyed with tea because I used white tea. Yes, white tea and green tea, which isn't as dark as black tea. The other pages I showed are dyed with black tea. So this belly band is kind of loose so that you can add more things under it. But to keep it secured, I just have this hidden paper clip just to keep it in place. And we have more Christmas decoration with similar tea-dyed pages in this tuck spot. And over here we have a tuck spot and a pocket. In the tuck spot is this page from a vintage Christmas card register where you would put the name and addresses of people to send cards to. And then you also have this tracking of when you, received and sent. And it's all predated for the 1990s. And I made this little envelope and card with the Christmas time album cover art. It's a little card. Just tuck some there with some more song lyrics right here. This pocket is just some collage elements. This is eco-dyed paper. My first batch of eco-dyed paper, I loved the colors and the patterns, but I did something wrong because it had a lot of tears. All of the papers had a bunch of tears, so mostly I can only use it in collage work because it just falls to pieces. Anyhow, this is a vintage postcard, and I love the text on the back of it. This is for the Hotel New Yorker at 34th Street at 8th Avenue, New York City. And the description that it gives is that there's a private tunnel to Penn Station. There's 2,500 rooms, each with radio, not TV, because this is old, each with radio, both tub and shower, servitor and circulating ice water. And there are 4 popular priced restaurants. Dancing nightly in the Terrace restaurant, and the rates are from $3.85 a day. $3.85 a day. I'm curious if that hotel is still there, but not curious enough to go look for myself. And then this postcard is used. It's the Barbizon Plaza Hotel overlooking Central Park. And it's postmarked 1967, sent to somebody in Olympia, Washington. So yeah, there are, some of the other themes in here are obviously New York things, and things like the Mockingbird, that allude to some of the song lyrics, in like the When We Were Very Young Winnie the Pooh page. Some song lyrics from Cradle Song. This is a little pamphlet made with scrapbook paper. And inside, on each side, it's got some writing pages. And yeah, I think I inked the edges of a couple of them with little tuck spots. And the front, I meant for this to be a pocket, but it turned into a slip because this paper has a waxy surface, so my glue didn't stick to it. And I think it's baking paper. So I just secured it down with washi tape and extra glue. But it also, so it's basically like a belly band, but with a little flippy thing of that album cover. And I'll attach it to that page with another hidden paper clip that has a tiny little collage on the front of it. These cute little list pages. Song lyrics for one shot with a little star paper clip that goes with the lyrics. This is more of my eco-dyed paper, and some lace on top of it. This little writing thing, the microphone pulls out, so you can write on the back of it. and then it unfolds for more writing space. And I inked the edges to make them stand out a little bit. And we have another guitar element. It folds open and closed, and so you can write on the back of it as well as the inside of it. And of course you can write on this page. It goes in that sparkly. This is also vinyl, so it's very sturdy and it's very sparkly. And we're on the third signature now. More of the dyed paper with the doily on top. And we have song lyrics here from Street Corner Symphony. In this pocket is a matchbook style notepad. So it's just got a few sheets of paper in here that you can write on. And it just tucks back in. Like that. And little pocket surprise right here with more album cover art. And you can write on the back. I think there's enough room to stick maybe something else in there too if you wanted to. I love the little dangle. So that goes in that pocket. And in this pocket, another vintage postcard. Lower New York through Brooklyn Bridge Arch. It's not used. When Rob had song lyrics that talked about all the bridge and tunnel girls come round, I didn't know what that meant. I had to have somebody explain it to me, that they're, the women going into the city, they're women who are coming through the tunnels or over the bridges to get there. But anyways, that's just my own little story about that. Why I wanted a bridge or a tunnel postcard right there in the pocket. This page has two pockets. I put a tab on it because it almost looks like you should be able to flip this green page, but it's glued on to this purple pinkish page. So here we have a piece of scrap of paper to write on and a piece of coffee dyed paper to write on. And more song lyrics here from Breathe Out. And we've got this other little interactive element. These are a couple cards in here on the outer pocket that you can write on. And let's get that over. And then it's like an envelope on the other side with a card that you can write on. And album cover art that you can write on the back. And I use this musical note paperclip right there. This page has a couple pockets and a couple tuck spots. So this is a little writing spot that goes into that pocket. Another writing spot that goes into this tuck spot. You can write on the page, and then this flips open. You can write on there. And it's just got a collage on the front of it. And then this one, little tiny thing that you can write on. It folds open and it goes in this little tuck. and then it folds out for more writing space. And I just put a paper clip on here to help it stay closed. Kind of wants to pop open. Some song lyrics from The Worst in Me. This spread right here is what I had in mind was paper dolls. I don't have any paper dolls, but I have a large collection of vintage sewing patterns. So the sewing patterns, you know, they come in this envelope. So I opened it up so that it could have a piece of writing thing that goes inside of it that you can add to it. And this is another, it's fairly shallow. It's a shallow tuck spot, but it works. It's sewn on, a piece of ribbon sewn on. And on the left side, behind this belly band, is a vellum envelope that is holding cutouts of vintage pattern envelopes. So these are reproductions. I actually scanned the covers of the sewing pattern envelopes and then I printed them and cut them out, fussy cut them out. And rather than putting them on the page, I just figured I'd put them in an envelope in case somebody else wanted to place them somewhere in the book, or just keep them to write on the back of them. And I just have this page in there to give them a nice pretty backdrop. So they go in first. Yeah, there. I really like these dresses. They're super cute. I have to wear those. Lyrics for the song Pieces, with some little pieces of scrapbook paper sprinkled on the page. Song lyrics from One Less Day. This page was part of the papers that I bought from that other person where I think they dyed it with food coloring. I didn't dye those ones. I like them, they're pretty. But I prefer to make these ones with the unique splashes and doily impressions. We've got a tuck spot with some pages. Are there 3? I think there's 3. Yeah, 3 pages. And another tuck spot on top. I was so excited when I found this sticker. It's wonderful. And it's got a tiny card inside. You can write on that green side. Song lyrics from Steady. This is a removable tuck spot. It's made with a piece of mail, the envelope when you get bills and stuff in the mail, and your name and address shines through the window. So it's just repurposed mail piece that I decorated the edges. And then I put on some paper. This actually is funny. I took a picture of a rock that had really cool texture and coloration. So I took my picture of the rock and I made my own paper. I printed printed paper with the image, and I just love using it as a backdrop. And then I just made this little tag to go in it. So you can actually move that to any page. Just put it on there. And run the final signature. We have some song lyrics here from Little Wonders and a collage border on the page. Album cover art. Song lyrics from Her Diamonds. And this is the only element that I put in the book from a magazine. I just really liked how the diamonds were teardrop shaped, and they had this flourish as they drop down to the floor. They're beautiful, beautiful earrings. Yeah, that gets tucked in there. I added some little sparkly gem things right there, and of course the sparkly washi tape. On this page, so these are the lyrics that I said were on a Matchbox album. These are lyrics to Queen of New York City. I wanted to put something in there, especially in recognition of Maddie, with the Sidewalk Angels intention behind this. So this is a pocket over here, and I love the vintage ladies on here. It flips up for some writing space, and in the pocket there's this vintage 1938 piece of mail. It's so old they didn't even have zip codes, and I also like that it came from West 43rd Street in New York City. Okay, so what's really cool about it is it's from a place called the Seymour at 50 West 45th Street, New York. And inside is a typewritten letter letting somebody know they're looking forward to having them come for a 3-day visit to New York City. And they're noting that there's like breakfast accommodations at the Seymour and lots of activities around. Page 2 has an itinerary of like 2 days and 1 night, $8 per person. And they've got a tour of Radio City and visit to Rockefeller Center, all kinds of cool stuff. And I love that the typewriter has some like wonkiness to it. They're not straight. Anyways, that's just a fun period piece, a glimpse in time. And that's part of why I chose this scrapbook paper. I don't know if these are 1938 outfits. Maybe they're more like the 20s. But I think they go. I like them. And here we have a deep pocket. And I know nothing about sheet music, but I appreciated that this had a R inside of a circle. If you want, you could draw a little T right there inside the circle. Get right on that. And on the other side of the pocket is this little, it's held together by I would call it a cigar band with a collage on the front. I chose this stamp because the orange reminded me of the fire on a mountain. So that comes off. When you open it inside, you've got some post-it note flags that you can use in the journal. You can add strips of paper in there if you wanted to. Here I've done a little bit of collage, not very much, a little bit. This is removable. A little page it slides on the page, and it's got this little charm of an angel for sidewalk angels, and just some washi tape decorative pieces, and then it's holding this little mini journal with lace decoration on the front. It's made out of, I think I used like a brown paper bag that you get when you go shopping. I glued that to some scrapbook paper. And so inside this flap are just little pieces of scrap paper for writing. And then a little curtain for the middle part. And then on the right, or excuse me, on the left, there's a pocket with more tiny bits of paper. And this isn't true vintage, this is a replica. I created this old library template. And it's the Kurt Vonnegut book, Cat's Cradle, where Rob has the tattoos on his wrist. Checked out by Rob Thomas. I put it in pencil in case somebody wants to erase it. And it goes in this old library book style pocket. Just collaged. So that is held by this page. Partly because I was worried that this was too heavy to be held by something that was only glued in. So I wanted to have something that would kind of hold it in place but wouldn't pull on the paper. Some collage paper. By the way, every time I've sewn something into the book, I've left the thread long and loose on purpose. Some people like it. It adds to the kind of shabby, distressed appearance. And I figure if somebody doesn't like it, easy enough to cut off. This is another collaged pocket, again with some eco-dyed paper. We have a tag, which is decorated on the front with a tea bag. We have a postcard, Fire on the Mountain again. It's from Hawaii. And this is a glassine envelope that held instrument strings to an instrument called a zither. I didn't even know there was an instrument called a zither. And you can see there's some little rust spots on here because the string inside rusted, so it's not included. But I added a couple pieces of paper in here to write on. And here's another pocket with some collage elements, and I stamped on there song lyrics. And the ephemera in here. This is a replica decoration ephemera piece. It's supposed to be a trip ticket for New York City transit system. And a little piece of vellum thing. And a clock with no hands. So it's timeless. You can all groan at me later. Okay, ephemera pieces there. Some collage work here. This is a flip-out belly band with song lyrics. This is how a heart breaks. And a giant tag held by the belly band. I like the texture on it. They reminded me of records because they have circles with little holes in the middle. And then you can write on the back. And that's near the end of the book because that's usually a song that is near the end of Rob's concerts. And we have one more page with song lyrics from The Great Unknown. And in the very back pocket, I added just this little card with a belly band. And it's holding parchment paper swatches and vellum paper swatches because I figured somebody might want to test their writing instrument on a piece of vellum or parchment paper before they used the papers that are bound into the book. So if you have a variety of writing instruments and you want to try which ones will not smear or look good or whatever, there's some swatches in here. And I love paper clips, and so I'm just including a ton of paper clips in the journal in this back pocket. So thank you to everyone who stuck with me through this video. My channel is an ASMR channel, so I know Rob Thomas isn't for everybody, craft projects are not for everybody, and ASMR is not for everybody. So to whatever brought your interest here today, I really appreciate you taking a peek at this journal. And please remember that it is going to be listed on eBay for sale, auction style. Just use a keyword search for Rob Thomas Junk Journal. And remember that all of the price, the whole sale price, will go to the charity listed on that page. Thank you very much. Be good to each other.